Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a multi-strand necklace using products from the Potomac Beads treasure box. First of all, our encouraging word for today is Proverbs 27:1, and it says, "Don't brag about tomorrow since you don't know what the day will bring." And I have found that to be very true. It seems like when you brag about something, it all changes. Alrighty, so here we are. This is the Potomac Beads treasure box. And this is what we're going to be using from it. I will link the unboxing in the description box below if you want to check that out. But we're going to be using these tiny little sparkly rondelles. Now you can use any beads that you have. This is a design, tutorial mainly using their beads. But you can, if you have, these are 3mm rondelles. So any 3mm rondelles you have. These are 6mm electroplated agate. And again, at Druzy Beads, any 6mm bead. These are size 8. Believe they are size 8 Mayuki seed beads in black. These are some lapis lazuli nuggets, or chips, I mean. And these are the 3mm, no, they're 4mm. 4mm Potomac beads, or Potomac pearls. I love these. This color is Moonstone. These are some 4mm bead caps that I have from my own stash. Whoops. We are using this check glass oval that was in the Potomac Beads treasure box this month. I have two 2x2 crimp tubes, 2 crimp covers, a toggle clasp, 2 wire guardians, a few jump rings here. These are oval jump rings. A few 6mm bead caps. I just had 4 of these left and I really like them, so I think I might use them on this. I have 2 lengths of bead stringing wire in a 19 strand. One is 24.5 inches and one is 22 inches. And that's going to be the top and bottom of my necklace. Now, I'm trying to decide if I want to try to crimp. Yeah, I'm going to pull out 2 more. Go ahead and pull out 4 2x2 crimp tubes and 4 wire guards, because I haven't decided yet if I'm going to try to crimp them together or crimp them apart. But you may need 4 of the 2x2 crimp tubes, 4 wire guards, and 4 crimp covers, just to be safe, because I may decide not to crimp them together. I don't know. I can't really make up my mind how I want to do that today, but let me pull out 2 more wire guards just in case, so we don't have to be searching for them while I'm trying to make the necklace. There we go. All right, 2 more wire guards. These little containers are available at art.com. I have video showing 2 different uses for these. I'll link those in the description box below, and I have a coupon code for them as well, so you can get free shipping and 10% off if you want to order them. They're very, very nice. Okay, and you will need some 26 gauge wire. This is just some 26 gauge silver wire, and I'm going to pull off, you don't need a huge amount for this, but I never pull off enough wire. It's a thing with me. I'm always I'm going to do a good foot of it just because I don't want to run out. It's really bad when you run out. It's one thing when you have more than enough, you can use it for something else. So I'm pulling off about a foot of this 26 gauge wire. Okay, and I think that's everything besides your jewelry tools. You're just going to need your regular tools. So I've got cutters, I have round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, and my crimpers. Okay, I think that's all you're going to need. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create our pendant. So let's move these other things out of the way. All these other things except for the oval, the wire, and these little electroplated rondelles. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the wire and we're going to come straight up the middle. And I'm going to leave, probably a good 3 inches sticking out. I'm going to bend it over like this so it's, so it will stay basically. And I'm going to thread on 17 of these little rondelles. So 2, And what we're doing is we're just going to lay them around the sides of the bead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 'It's a little hard sometimes to get them. 10, 11, 12, 13, 3 more. 14, 15, 16, actually 4 more. 17, and I can't count today. All right, I think this is the perfect, I did this before, and so I'm just trying to, okay, you're gonna push them up, push your top down and hold it so it doesn't come out. Push these up and just lay them around your bead. Okay, so it looks like we only needed 16, so we're gonna take one off. Okay, 16 beads. All right, now I am going to go back down through my bead with my wire like this and just pull this around here. You don't want it to be super tight. I mean, it's kind of making a frame around this bead, so I'm just leaving it. See how there's a little space between the bead and the rondelles? That's fine. So just go ahead and pull it down through there. Now we're going to add on 17 more on the other side. 1, 2, or 16 more, we'll see. 3, 4, that's a seed bead. You don't need to be in there. Why are you in there? Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and one more, 16. And let's put them all down. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to bend this around and make sure that it comes up to the top. Okay. Now, what we're going to do now is we're not going back down through the bead again, okay? We are going to take this piece and bend it back up straight 90 degrees. And then we're just going to take this and we're going to wrap it around our little tail that we're using. We're going to wrap it 3 times, 2 or 3 times around that piece, okay? And then we're going to straighten everything up. And I'm going to put these 2 pieces of wire together now, okay? So we've got them coming straight out of the top. You want to make sure that they're straight. Push this down. There we go. And you want these 2 pieces coming out of the top. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my round nose pliers. I'm going to create a little bit of a wrapped bail here. Wrapped loop, basically. I'm just trying to make sure that that is over far enough so that it looks even. And I'm going to come up a little bit from my beads. You can even twist this a little if you want to, this wire together. Let's do that just for the fun of it. Let's twist it up a little bit. And this little piece just is wanting to climb, so that's why I didn't twist it before. He kind of wants to just climb up when you twist, but I'm going to pull it back down. See, I messed it up. Let's untwist. Don't twist. Twisting is not good. That's making everything messed up. Push this back down. He needs to stay down there where he belongs. Okay, so just take this. Come up a little bit from your beads, and we're going to wrap down and make this stay. But you want, because this piece is attached to this, you want to make sure that this is pushed down all the way, okay, before you start wrapping. So am I pulling on the wrong one? I am. I'm sorry. It's your tail piece, not your original piece that keeps moving on me. So there we go. I'm kind of losing it, apparently. So, yeah, this piece needs to be pushed down like this. That's what I needed to do right there. Okay, so make sure that that is pushed down when you go to bend this. We're coming up a little bit from our bead, from our beads. And I'm holding that in place so it won't rise up again. And just bend this 90 degrees, okay? Then take your round nose pliers, and I'm coming back kind of far because I want it to have a fairly large loop on it, and I am coming up and over, just like that. I'm going to keep these wires to where they're not crossed, they're sitting side by side. I'm going to rotate my pliers up, and I'm going to come underneath with this double wire right here. I'm going to push it together. Okay. Now, I have to make sure that this stays down. So I'm pushing it down. And I'm going to grab this right here with my chain nose pliers, or I'm using my crimping pliers. And I'm going to take this piece and I'm just going to wrap. And I'm going to wrap down towards my beads. And it doesn't matter if it twists, you know, your beads twist up for a minute, but you do want to keep that pushed down, that one piece that keeps wanting to rise up and do things it shouldn't do. Okay? Now, this piece is kind of hanging out, and I don't really need it anymore. I mean, I can just wrap it until it's done. So let me just take it and wrap it around until it's finished. Okay, and then you can kind of trim it off if it's got just a little snag left out. And then just tuck it in so it's not going to poke anybody. All right, now this piece I'm going to go around a few more times. I'm going to make this kind of a substantial messy wrap. I like that look. Okay. Take my pliers. You can take your pliers and pull it tight. Don't worry if things get a little crooked. We'll straighten everything up here in just a minute. All right, I'm going to cut that off. Tuck it under a little bit. And then I'm just going to take my pliers, and I actually need this loop to be the other way. So I'm going to stick my round nose pliers back in it and just turn it. Make sure that it's nice and round. And because my little wire here is loose on me, for some reason, I'm just going to unwrap this a little bit. I don't really want it to have that big of a loop on it. Yeah, these little piece here. Yeah, there we go. I like that a little bit better, not quite that messy. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim that off and then tuck it. Okay, so here we have a little wrapped bail. Now, I'm making sure that that is still pushed down. There we go. And I like the way that that looks. It just gives it a little halo around it. I think it's kind of cool, and these beads are so pretty. We're going to use some more in the top of the necklace. Okay, so now we've got that done. So what we're going to do now is take our longer piece of bead stringing wire. Make sure you have your longer one. Yeah, this one right here. And I'm going to hang my pendo on it. Now, it's good if you have a couple of bead bugs for this, bead stoppers. So just grab a couple bead stoppers because you don't want your beads falling off everywhere. It's really frustrating when they do. So first thing we're going to do is bead this up, just kind of however we want to do it. So because this loop's kind of big and I don't really want the beads going through the loop, I am going to probably use a couple of these guys first. So I'm going to do one of these electroplated beads on either side, like this. Okay, and then I'm going to use these bead caps. So I'm going to put one facing my bead, and then my bead, and then this one facing the bead. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And that's just going to give a little decorative element to our focal part of this necklace. And these are the only 4 of this I have, so I'm just going to use these 4 and no more. I love these though. I thought they were really pretty, little flowery looking bead caps. And see, that's just going to give it just a little decorative element up there. Okay, now I'm going to do one of the electroplated beads, the tiny ones. I can get it on my string. Let me move these out of the way and all this out of the way. Don't need all that right now. Okay, so let's do one on each side. And then I'm going to do a pearl on each side. I love the color of these pearls. Let's just dump all our beads out. These little containers come from the Dollar Tree. They are in the catering section, and they are great for just putting your little beads in like this. Okay, so now I'm going to do a pearl on each side. And of course, you can string this however you want to do it. This is just my own personal take on it. But it's just a design idea. You can do whatever you want. So there's our pearl. Now I'm going to do 3 black seed beads. Just like that. Three black seed beads. An electroplated bead. And I'm wanting to really pull these electroplated beads up into the necklace to draw up your eye from the focal, and it just gives it some cohesiveness. And then we're going to put this one on this other side. Come on, little bead. Get on there. There we go. And then I'm going to do 3 or 4 chips. So let's do 1, 2. I love the texture that these chips give a design. I just think it's really cool. So there's 3. Let me do a bigger one. 4. There's 4 on that side. Let's get 4 on the other side. And I try to make them kind of match, you know, the same thickness, basically, is what I mean by that. 1, 2. We'll do this guy. And I need a little bit bigger one for, let's see, this one might be good. Yep, that's pretty good. There we go. All right, so we're going to continue beading. And again, this is up to your own specific style, what you want to do. I am going to do a bead cap, a little pearl. I love these teeny tiny bead caps. I think they are so cute. Little pearl, another bead cap, and a 6mm electroplated bead. Okay, so I've got bead cap, pearl, whoops, pearl, and a bead cap, and one more 6mm electroplated bead. Okay, so here's what we have so far. It's looking really pretty. Now I'm going to do an electroplated bead. And I'm not really doing any type of pattern. I'm just beading this just how I think it's pretty at the moment. So electroplated bead, I'm going to do 3 black seed beads. I guess that's kind of what I did on the other part. So I guess there's a little bit of a pattern going on, but not a lot. So 3 black seed beads. Okay. Now, let's see. Do I want to do 3 more chips yet? Or I think I'm going to do another pearl with the bead caps and then the 3 chips. So let's do bead cap, pearl, and bead cap. Whoops. Having a hard time hanging on to things today for some reason. I don't know why. My little fine motor skills are having trouble. Bead cap, pearl, and another bead cap. Oops. And I'm going to do some more chips here. So let's see. Let's do so 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and one more, 4. Yeah, really pretty. I love these beads. They are so beautiful. Okay, so let's do a bead cap and an electroplated bead. So bead cap, the electroplated bead, and another bead cap. Same over here. Bead cap, electroplated bead, and bead cap. Bead cap. And then we're going to do, let's do 3 of these rondelles. 2, come on now. 3 of the electroplated rondelles. And again, I'm not doing any pattern. I'm just kind of playing around here. I'm doing it like I think that it looks pretty. 3 electroplated rondelles. These are hard to get on your bead stringing wire sometimes. Okay, so there we have that. Now let's do a pearl. No bead caps, just a pearl. And that's another thing I do a lot. I vary, you know, I'll do some pearls with the bead caps, some pearls without them. Just gives a lot of interest to your project if everything is not exactly the same, I think. Now, there are some places, obviously, where you want to do everything exactly the same, but in this one, like from side to side, you know, I'm doing them the same, but I'm just not doing any certain pattern. Okay, and then I'm going to do an electroplated bead by itself. Okay, yeah. Electroplated bead over here by itself. And 3 black seed beads. Okay. 3 black seed beads. 1, whoops. 1, 2, and 1 more. 3. All right. So here's what we've got so far. Now, what do I need? I need a pearl without bead caps. No, I need a pearl with bead caps. Let's do a pearl with bead caps. Bead cap, pearl, and a bead cap, and then I'm going to do another 4 or 5 chips. So bead cap, pearl, bead cap, and then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 chips on this side, and 4 on the other. Now I do want to say we have an electroplated bead on each side. Let's do one of these little blue electroplated beads on each side. So, come on. And then let's do a pearl. No. Yeah, let's do a pearl and then some chips. So we got a pearl here. Pearl on the other side. There's a chip over in there. Okay. And then I'm just going to do 3 or 4 more chips. So 1, 2, 3, and 1 more. So 4 on this side, 4 on the other side. 1, 2, 3, and this guy. 4 on this side. Okay, so got 4 and 4 for our chips. Now let's do 3 black beads again. Three black beads. Let's do a bead cap, an electroplated 6mm, and another bead cap. Same on the other side. I love the way these little sparkly blue rondelles, they really add a lot of sparkle throughout this necklace coming up the sides that it definitely needs. I think it would be lacking without it. So let's add another one of those on each side, little blue rondelle. Yeah, they really add a lot of sparkle. Another one. Okay, let's do another pearl with no bead caps on this one. And we're getting down close to the end of our wires, but we've still got some more to do. So pearl on either side. Let's do another electroplated blue bead. Yeah, that looks pretty. Electroplated blue beads. And then we're going to do, I'm sorry, I'm sniffling. I've had allergies for weeks. They're driving me crazy. We're going to do another 6mm with bead caps. Okay, so 6mm with bead caps on that side. 6mm with bead caps on this other side. And then I'm going to do 3 black seed beads on either side. Okay, 3 on the other side. And then we're going to do some more chips. So just, again, like 4 chips on either side. 1, 2, 3. One more over here. 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now let's take a look. Let's do another of the pearls on each side. And now we're really getting far up our strands here and almost ready to close them off, but not quite yet. Let's do a blue electroplated bead. Let's do 2 of those. Get some sparkle going here. 2 on this side. Okay, we'll do 1 electroplated bead with bead caps on each side. Okay, 1 over here. Oops. Okay. Here's what we have so far. I have to leave enough room to end it. I'm trying to scoot everything down just a little because I've got my ends uneven here a little bit, which is, I really do need to scoot these up. I want to try to even out the ends a little so I can not waste wire. Okay, see if that's better. It's a little better. I went too far on that side. Okay, that's pretty close. I just don't want them to be too uneven on the ends, so that way I don't waste a bunch of wire. Okay, Let's do 3 black seed beads per side. 1, 2, actually I'm going to do 4 because it picked up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do a pearl on each side. Pearl, pearl. I'm probably not going to do any more chips over here because I don't think, you know, this part's not really going to be showing a whole lot. Let's do electroplated bead on each side, 1 on each side. Whoops, did it fall off? It did. Okay, 1 on each side. All right. And here's what we have so far. It's looking really pretty. I don't want to do any more chips, so I think I'm just going to do a few more black seed beads, so maybe 3 black seed beads. 3 per side and a pearl. Okay, there's 3 on that side, 3 on this side. Let's add another pearl, because this is going to be toward the back, so it's not really going to show a whole lot unless you have your hair up, which I hardly ever wear my hair up when I go anywhere. So, all right, that looks really pretty. It really does. I love these blues with this black. It's just so elegant looking. There we go. Just trying to get that to lay right. Okay, alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and crimp it. So let me move some of this stuff out of the way because we've got to do that other strand. I don't want everything getting all mixed up here. Okay, I'm gonna add about 3 more seed beads per side just so I'm not, because my length is pretty set, so I don't want to, you know, I don't want to crimp it down too small. And then I'm going to add 4 on each side, or maybe 5. Let's add 5 on each side. 5 seed beads on each side. Yeah, that'll help us. And then we're going to crimp. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to take my crimp tube. I am going to put it on my wire. I'm going to stick this bead bug on this other side because the last thing I want is all of my beads falling off, and that is likely to happen. And then I'm going to put the wire guard on. So the wire guard just goes, your wire goes in one side of it, little channel, and comes down the other side, and the wire guard is exactly what it says. It just keeps your wire from fraying against the metals of like your clasp or whatever it's hooking onto. I am going to hook this directly onto my toggle. I don't really feel like I need to use jump rings for it, and I'm going to come right in, down. So you've got your crimp bead, your wire going through your wire guard up and around, and you went ahead and put your toggle directly on. Now I'm going to take this tail back down through that crimp bead and a few beads, and wherever it comes out, if it does, where's it at? Maybe I need to pull this way a little bit so it's got a little more. There we go. So I want it to go through more than just one. I want it to go through several, and I'm just going to, well, it only went through 2. It's being very difficult. Okay, I'm going to pull this tight. Now I'm going to take my wire guard and bend it in. I don't like them really wide. I like it bent in, and I'm pulling everything down. Now you want to leave a little room for your beads to have some movement. So if this is stick straight, make sure you can bend it a little, because if it's stick straight, it's going to just look weird. It's going to poke out really far, and you don't want that. Okay, so taking my crimping pliers, and I'm laying my crimp tube right in there in that very back divot, just giving it a little tug, and I'm just smashing it down. Going to turn it vertically, and it's kind of hard to do when you've got your toggle in the way, and I'm going to just close that up. Okay, give it a tug, make sure it's closed up really good. These are not the best crimp beads. I bought these from a company, and I do not care for them at all. They break, but there, it didn't break that time, thank goodness. And then I'm just going to trim my little wire tail. And there we have our one side. So we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. I am going to, and I did decide obviously to use all 4 crimp beads. I was going to try to put both wires through the same, and you can do that, but I don't know. I'm just not really feeling like fussing with it right now, to be honest. I've had these allergies acting up, and it's really kind of wearing on me. I'm taking medicine and everything, but nothing seems to be helping. Okay, so we're going to go through here with our toggle, and I'm just going to bend this wire guard in. My crimp bead got up there. So just bending that in. I just use my crimping pliers. It just makes it look neater, I think. And then I'm going to take my wire and go back down through here. And again, you want to make sure that you have a good tension going and everything is not pulled stick straight, but your beads, you know, they've got a little movement to them. I'm just trying to get this over a few more of the beads. They just want to seem to go through 2 today, and I want them to go through more. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to pull that down, and again, making sure that that has movement, but there's no gaps anywhere. And then I'm going to lay this in my crimping pliers. Give that a little tug and crimp down firmly. Turn it 90 degrees and close it right up. Give it the tug test. All right, so here is the first layer of our necklace. Now, if you like it like this, you could leave it like this. It's very pretty, just like it is. But I want to add, I think I want to add another layer, just because I like multi-layer necklaces. So I'm going to take my second piece of wire, and the first thing I'm going to do is crimp on this. So I'm just going to put my crimp tube on, just like we've been doing, my wire guard. Come up and over. The reason I'm going to crimp first on this second one is I just want to be able to make sure that I have enough wire and that the wire is laying where I want it to lay on the second necklace. So I feel like if I crimp on here first, then I don't have to figure in for that amount of wire. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And I just totally took it out of my wire guardian. Come on. So I'm just putting it in. I want to make sure that I put it on the inside of my toggle ring, because it's going to be inside the other, you know, on the inside of the other wire. So make sure you do that right when you're doing this. And then, why do I keep pulling it out of my... Oh, it's been a day, you guys. It's been a day, I swear. And I leave the bloopers in because, you know what? It's every good thing to know that I am human and not... It does not always work out right for me. Not the first time, sometimes not the second time. This time, let's see if it will the third time. I hope to goodness. All right, we're going to get him right in that bead. Get in there. And what I was trying to do is not have too much wire sticking out, but I kept pulling it out of my crimp tube anyway. Out of my wire guard. All right, here we go. And I know it seems a little fiddly to do it this way, but I just like to. I feel like that I can judge the whole rest of the necklace better if I've already got this crimped on here. So I am going to pull it up just a tad, so I'm not wasting too much wire. And I'm just going to crimp it down. Turn it sideways. Close your crimp. And there we have it. Now we're going to bead this up. Now, this one I want to keep a lot simpler than the other one. I'm not going to do a whole big bunch of stuff. I'm just going to, I'm not going to probably, I may use a couple bead caps, but not a lot. I want this one to be pretty simple. So I'm going to start off with like 10 black seed beads. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we'll see how that looks. Make sure you get up over your tail on your wire. There we go. All right, 10 black seed beads. I'm going to do another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. So that makes it even, if you can see, which you can't because it's, well, yeah, you can. Makes it pretty much even over here with this one. I need to add one more. So that's a total of 16 seed beads, and it's just making it even right here with this one. Okay, so now, I am going to do a pearl. And again, I'm just keeping this side pretty simple. A pearl and another 10 black seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Scoot it up if it comes down. All right. So I've got 16 black seed beads, a pearl, 10 black seed beads. I'm going to do an electroplated bead right here. And then I'm going to do 2 bead caps. So a bead cap, not 2, 1 bead cap. This round bead, 6 millimeter, and a bead cap. And one of the electroplated blue beads. Okay. Now you have to keep in mind, while you're stringing this, that everything you have for this side, you have to have for the other side. Okay, so make sure that you think about that. So I'm going to pull those out because I don't want to end up getting over on the other side and realizing, oh my goodness, I did not leave enough beads for the other side. So I'm going to pull those out. So these are what I've used, not counting the seed beads because I've got a bunch of those. Okay, and now I'm going to do 10 more seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, I'm just kind of looking at it here to see what I want to do. I'm going to add another 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I'm going to put a pearl on. I'm going to do a pearl with bead caps. So bead cap, pearl, and bead cap. And again, I'm trying to keep this second layer fairly simple, not nearly as decorative as the other one, you know, but I still want it to have, I want it to be cohesive, so it needs to have the same elements, I think, as the other one. So we'll put these bead caps on. Okay, and then I'm going to do 15 more seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so here's what we've got. Now, one thing I want to keep track of too is as I'm coming down the side here, when I get to the middle, so I'm going to lay my necklace out. So when I get down to here, I'm going to have to remember to put my decorative element in and then start back up the other side with the same beads. So I'm kind of watching that. So I'm going to do an electroplated bead again. The little one, electroplated rondelle. I'm going to do a bead cap, a 6 millimeter. Now wait a minute. I have to make sure I'm going to have enough to do this. I'm not. So I'm not going to do the 6 millimeter here. No, I'm not, because I'm going to need them. I want to put them down here, a couple of them at least. That one might end up being left over. We'll see. So I'm going to do an electroplated bead. I'm going to do 2 electroplated beads, just like this. And then I'm going to do 15 more seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 11, 12, 13, 14, and one more. 15. All right, now one thing you need to do is take your wire and just, come around here, and let's make sure that we are getting this. I like to lay these out like this on my bead mat. I know a lot of people like to use the beading boards and stuff, but they really confuse the heck out of me. I mean, I do so much better if I just do it this way. So this is what I do, but you can do it however works for you, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna do an electroplated bead, a bead cap, a pearl, a bead cap, and another electroplated bead, bead cap, whoops, and then one more electroplated bead. Okay, and we're going to do 15 more seed beads, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so that's putting us, if we put this over here, like we're going to, be crimping it closed, that's putting us pretty close to our midpoint of our second strand. Okay, so I'm just straightening everything up here. I want to make sure that it's going to lay right. Now I want this to hang down right about there. So I've got to figure in, yeah, this is looking pretty close to where I want it to be. All right, so I am going to do another 2 seed beads, okay? And then I'm going to do a middle or a mid decorative element here. So I'm laying this out really straight. I want to make sure everything is laid out straight, just like it's going to be if you would have it on, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these guys in the middle. I want these, no, do I want them? I don't want them in the middle. I want the chips in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to do an electroplated bead here, a bead cap, one of these 6mm electroplated beads, another bead cap, a pearl right here, and then I'm going to string a bunch of chips across the middle of this. So let's do a bunch of chips. So I'm going to try to do the smaller ones on the ends and the bigger ones in the middle. I may not be successful at that, but that's what I'm going to try to do anyway. So 3. That one's not, I thought that was 4. See how many there are that we end up putting on. 5. Oops. 5. Sometimes they're really hard to get to see the holes in them. 6, 7. Okay, I'm getting pretty much toward the middle, so I'm going to do some of the bigger ones. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, this is cute. 12 and 13. And then back up the side with some small ones. 1, 2. And what you will find with these chips is some of them have holes on the very edges. Sometimes there will be a couple that you can't use because there are holes tails on the edges of them. You just have to be kind of careful which ones you string and how. Okay, and I'm just laying this here, and I'm going to make sure that it's even. So I'm putting these smaller chips on the sides. Okay, and that, when I scrunch it down, which I want it to be scrunched down, that's pretty good. That has the big ones in the middle, the smaller ones on the side. So now I'm going to add this one more little teeny tiny one on because he's the only one left that's that little. And I'm going to set these aside, and then I'm going to bead back up this side just like I beaded down this side. So I'm starting here and going all the way back up, doing the exact same thing. So do that and come on back. Okay, so I have my entire other side beaded up, and now we're going to crimp right onto our lobster clasp, or our toggle clasp, just like we did before, except for I have misplaced a crimp bead somewhere. What did I do with that guy? I have to grab out another one. He's probably mixed in with all of my bead caps. I can't see him. Let me grab another one really quickly. Okay. All right, so we're going to take this. We're going to take our crimp bead and put it on. And we're going to go up and over our wire guard, just like we've been doing. Now, I don't have a whole lot of wire left over here, unfortunately. I have made myself a little short, so we're just going to have to be careful. And what you have to do if you do this is just use your pliers. You know, you can take it over and plug it right in here. It's a little easier than trying to do it with your fingers. There's that crimp bead I was looking for. So I'm going to pull this onto the wire guardian first, and then I am going to scoot the crimp bead down and make sure it's not, because see how it's coming up on the side of my wire guard right there? You want to be sure it doesn't do that. And then I'm going to take my toggle, and I'm going to make sure that I go on the inside. We have to be on the inside for this strand. And put it right on. It's a little fiddly when you've left yourself such a short amount of wire, but you can do it. And squeeze this in just a little. Now I'm going to take my plier, and I use my crimping pliers for this because they have a really fine tip. It's easy to grab the wire and pull it down through a few of these beads. Then I can grab it here on the bottom, the tail part of it, and I can pull it down. Okay, just like that. And then I can look and just make sure that everything looks good. There's no gaps. You want to double check. There's no gaps in between your beads. Everything's not super tight and stiff straight. And then I am going to crimp. So I'm just, oh, I didn't get my wire back down through my crimp bead. See that? So be careful there. Get your wire back down through your crimp bead. Down through a few of the other beads. And it is a little fiddly, but you can do it. It's better if you leave yourself a little more wire than I did, but I was just going down through there, beading away. Okay, there's my tail. Pulling it down. Okay, here we go. I think we're better this time. All right, got it through the crimp. Got it through. Nothing, there's no gaps or anything in here. Just making sure. You want to do that before you crimp it. And now I'm going to lay it in the back divot of my crimping pliers. And I'm going to press down firmly, turn it 90 degrees, and close it. Okay, pull tight, you know, tug test, pull, make sure that everything's okay. Cut your wire, tail, and here we have it. So it's a very pretty necklace. I love the blue and black. The theme this time was Midnight Skies, and yes, it's definitely looks like midnight skies to me. Very pretty. Now, if you want to add on your crimp bead covers, you can. Where I didn't leave myself a whole lot of wire, I don't have a whole lot to go, you know, of room there to put stuff, so I'm not going to add the crimp bead covers on. I don't think that, you know, it detracts any from it, but you can add them if you want to. Now would be the time to do it. but here is our beautiful necklace. So let me put this on a form and I'll show it to you. Okay, so here we go. Here is our necklace. I love this. I think it turned out really pretty. The druzy beads add a little shine, and then the electroplated tiny rondelles, and then come all the way down, and there is our wire wrapped oval pendant. So I really like this one. So check out Potomac Beads Treasure Edition box. It really is a great value for all these beautiful beads that you get. And I will link everything in the description box below the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.